now the reality is we have a serious situation right now that we have to deal with. And I'm going to wrap up because I know you want to open up the lines.
Yes.
We have a very, very, very serious situation to address right now. And that is the issue of the airport
Yes.
funding. I don't know if Jupiter has the information there.
Yes, Jupiter should have some information where that is concerned. I have it here as well, which I would like to share with the listeners, so they'll get an understanding of where we're going with this one. It says here, and I want to. That's not it, Jupiter. That's not the one. That's the resolution you're looking at there. But I want to go to a letter that was sent to Mr. Hurst. It says here, re-awarding of contract for the upgrading and renovation of the V.C. Byrd International Airport. The Tenders Board, at its meeting held on the 14th of November 2006, considered your letter dated 6 November 2006 and the recommendation made by the Board of Antigua and Barbuda Millennium Airport Corporation, as well as the proposal letter of engagement and the indicative terms and conditions. The Board wishes, however, to express its concern and reservation of the letter of engagement and the proposed indicative terms and conditions. The Board also noted the lack of any consultation with the Honorable Attorney General on the matter. Notwithstanding the above concerns and reservations, the Board decided to award the contract to design, build, and finance the pre-World Cup and remaining works to André Gutierrez, that's AG, you can say AG, and then you have ABIB Consortium for a sum not exceeding $157.5 million US dollars, subject to the following. A, not to sign the engagement letter and the proposed indicative terms and conditions until the Honorable Attorney General has vetted and approved these documents. B, to request the Honorable Attorney General to draft a contract between Antigua and Barbuda Millennium Airport Corporation and André de Gutierrez Consortium for the design, build, and finance the pre-World Cup and remaining works for a sum not exceeding $157.5 million. And this is signed, yours faithfully, Dolene Lee, Chairman. That's the one you're looking for, I believe, Mr. Prime Minister. Am I correct in saying so?
Yeah, Jupiter needs to pull up the other one too. And by the way, the person I was referring to was Magma. I may have said Magnum. Magma. Gilazoo.
Yes.
Anyway, Jupiter needs to pull up that other document. This is something that we found recently. And by the way, let me disclose that the investigation into the V.C. Byrd runway repairs and expansion, that forensic audit is being done now by a company by the name of Kroll, and just came across a document recently that is, I say, self-explanatory. And if Jupiter can pull it up again, I think that would be helpful. It is actually a document of a parliamentary committee meeting that was held, I believe, the 13th of November 2007. Chaired by the then minister.
I'm not too sure if we have that document. You're saying Jupiter?
Yeah, he just pulled it up and he told me that it was the wrong document. It's the correct document.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's it.
Pull it up again.
All right.
That'll be helpful.
So
the point I'm making here is that on November 13th, 2007, our Lovell held a meeting of a select committee involving himself and others in the UPP. Myself and Sir Robin Yearwood were supposed to be part of it, but we declined. We decided not to participate in it because what had happened to that prior, Harold Lovell had brought to the Parliament that entire resolution for $157.5 million US dollars to borrow the money from ABI Bank. And after I intervened, Prime Minister, the Honorable Spencer, he agreed with me and asked Harold to withdraw the resolution. So the resolution did not proceed. Now, they had this subcommittee meeting, and then Harold reported to the Parliament how much money it will cost to do the airside work, because after that intervention that I made, they decided to get the money for the terminal from the Chinese government. So all was needed was money to do the airside work, and they had also spent some monies prior to spruce up the BC Bird International Airport for Cricket World Cup.
Yes.
In fact, I want to speak briefly about that Cricket World Cup issue too. So, in that report to the Parliament, if Jupiter can...
I think I found that it says here, let me just go to it.
Yes, if you can read out those figures and the purpose.
Yeah. He proposed the sum of US 50,690,251 US dollars based on the following breakdown. Design fees with the DBF contract, 1,351,875 US dollars. 2. Existing runway 3 cents. 3. The runway 7 extension, US $8,107,195.17. 4. The apron, the rehabilitation of the apron, US $1,184,212.60. The apron extension east and west, that's number 5 on the list, US $14,852,440.98. Number 6 on the list, new runway 10 link, Charlie. And the last on the list here, 7, the airfield lighting, that's lighting the airfield itself, US $4,214,335.98. Now, these figures provided by Andre de Gutierrez and the Airport Authority amount to $45,890,251 US dollars. Added to that, the sum of US $4.8 million, that's $4,800,000 US dollars, added to that is required to repay the amount of the bridging loan utilized for...
Reported to Parliament is a sum total of 50 million US.
50 million
Just running
US. Yes.
Am I correct, sir?
So the anticipated final cost of pre-World Cup works is US, they have here, US $12,300,000 US. However, this sum includes a grant of US $7.5 million from the government of Venezuela. The sum of US $50,690,251 is therefore required.
Parliament of Antigua and Barbuda, indicating that a total of 50 million US dollars was required to expand the runway by 1,000 linear feet, to resurface it, and to do new lighting. It also included an additional amount of about 5 million US dollars to take out the bridging loan, the balance of the bridging loan with Abbott, because they said that they'd gotten a grant of 7.5 million from the Venezuelan government. Total 50 million. And by the way, that $46 million to do the airside work is consistent with that the total contract price as presented by Andrade Gutierrez was $45,890,000.06. Jupiter should also have that page. We just took one page out of the report, but the whole report is here for everyone to see. We're not making up anything. Okay? Then you have now, Harold Lovell came subsequently in June of 2013 and signed a loan agreement for $94 million. I have the project, that loan for 94 million US. How much money that is? $44 million US.
Extra.
Okay?
Wow.
Now, let me tell you that we weren't too sure exactly about the quantities, but after we found that document in the Parliament, we now have a better idea. Asphalt on the airport and expanded by 1 mile, that could not be 15 million US. In Barbuda, where we're building an airport, admittedly not as wide, it is 6,000 linear feet, 6,100 linear feet. It's costing us just over $20 million. This is 1,000
And material will be more expensive now, as a matter of fact, sir.
Precisely. So even with that $50 million estimate that Harold Lovell, as chairman of that committee, reported to Parliament, there was a lot of fat in that. However, when time comes to settle the bill, we end up paying $94 million. I want to say to the people of Antigua and Barbuda, that is the biggest ripoff in the history of our country. Let us not forget at one point they labeled, but they say they were excesses. I'm not saying that they weren't. And they tagged him via one-way bird. So what should we call Harold Lovell? In any case, I don't call him any name. All I know is that Harold Lovell, as the then Minister of Tourism who presided over that deal, and then subsequently as the minister who paid them, who raised the money to pay them off, paid them $94 million. I mean, you recall when we read certain documents that they said on one occasion a tranche for $16 million US. There was no signing off by the chief, what do you call it, architect or whomever it was, or engineer. So clearly, we lost a significant amount of money on this deal. And I know they're going to say it's a political witch hunt, but I want to say to the entire country and the leadership of the UPP, Harold Lovell is in a lot of trouble. He has to answer this. I ain't going any further with this because this is really not, it's not a simple issue. And the players who are involved, they're going to certainly pay because we're not going to allow this to rest. And again, as we dig, the thing is becoming clearer and clearer. And from what I see here, Harold cannot be a comfortable person. So I'm not going any further with that. But when they talk about corruption, it must come good. One of the things that we had put in place, and you all may say I keep saying so, but you all must know the truth. From the onset, my cabinet decided, let us keep the office of the Prime Minister pristine, resources. So as a consequence, I was precluded from doing any government contracting or procurement. Okay. I've said time and time again, that is how politicians rip off countries, through excessive, or let's say inflated procurements